Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Throwaway099117. Am I the beehole for refusing to give my family their fair share after grandmother left everything to me in the will? Throwaway account. Anonymity. My granddad passed away in July 2020 due to Takoof, and grandma was very upset over his passing. Next, one of my uncles took control of the finances, bills, everything. Mid-December 2020, I asked my grandma if she agreed to this, which led to an argument, and me and my missus got kicked out of her house. Next day, I got a call from grandma saying, please come back home. I never held a grudge and came back to apologize. Then to find out that my uncle was pushing grandma to move south with him and his missus, as you don't have anyone here. Turns out grandma wanted to talk to me about what to do, as she was uncomfortable. I simply said, if you're uncomfortable, do not do it. You're his mother, so he has to agree with your decision. So she told him no, and he took it well. Too well. March 2021. Grandma made a will with a local solicitor in their office, but later that evening at home, the solicitor called me and asked if my grandmother had the properties in her name. I said she should, and asked why. She said something didn't sit right with this and wanted to check. I said I'd check and went to the land registry to find out, and what did I find? The same uncle that controlled everything has his name on all of my grandma's assets. I asked my grandma if she did this, and she didn't even know this happened. I was shocked and immediately told the solicitor, asking what can we do. A legal battle ensued, which was over 1 year. Turns out that my uncle fraudulently signed property transfer papers so everything would be in his name. Even my own mom got involved, siding with my uncle. Wow, a terrible mom. He decided to do a settlement, which grandma agreed to, as she was getting sick of everything, including her own kids. He gave her money in return for one of the smaller assets, and she wanted no contact with my uncle ever again. Mid-2022, she made a new will, and we finally got a peace. So, I decided to take grandma on holidays once every few months, which she loved and made it lasting memories. End of January 2024, she was diagnosed with cancer, and I told my mom to be here with grandma, as she should settle things with her and make peace with her. Even if my grandma didn't want to see my mom, I wanted to do the right thing for the both of them. A month later, grandma passed away at home. Last week, after the funeral, my parents came to the family house to discuss with me and my missus about the houses and the other stuff. They suddenly jumped in saying, you need to do the right thing and give us the house and our share, as we are the children, and you're just the grandchild. We know you did everything in the last 3+ years, but compared to us, you didn't do much. Context. My parents haven't been in this house regularly for over 10 years, and I lived here since 2010. Me and my missus simply said, sorry, but what grandma wants to do, it's her decision and not ours. This led to shouting, me, my mum, mainly, and threats of legal action from them. We never mentioned the will, as said by the solicitor. Am I the beehole? I don't think I'm going to have much to say to this, because you did exactly what I would have done in your situation, and not given them a red cent. And I'm glad they don't know about the will. That's going to hit them when they try to get all legal about it. And your uncle is like above beyond. I don't even know what that is. That's a demon over here trying to. That's crazy. He still gets something after what he did was illegal. That the world we live in, man. And then your mom sides with him and expects you to be kind to her and give her stuff. No, hoo, give them nothing, OP. You keep all the land, the houses, whatever you got. That's for you and your missus and your kids. I would pass that down, when it's my time to leave the earth if I were you. Make sure they get nothing. They deserve nothing, especially your mom, because she should have had your back in that situation, because she knows what your uncle did was wrong. Forging his name onto documents like that to steal from your mother and to steal from everyone. You think he was going to help your mother or her brother or what, or his sister? You think he was going to give her anything? That guy was willing to do some illegal stuff right there. He's going to keep that all for himself and try to make as much money as he can off of that. So no, OP, you're not the beehole. The only way you'd ever be the beehole is if you gave them a red cent. Give them nothing. Our next one comes from Left Alone 9090. Am I the beehole for saying to everyone my father discarded me and only cares about his new family? When I, a 32-year-old male, was 5 years old, me, my mom, and my father were hit by a red runner. What is that? The accident was bad, leading to my mom's death and my father staying in the hospital for a long time. While my father was in the hospital, and even after, I stayed with my maternal grandmother and lived with her until I was 15 because my father couldn't afford me. He remarried when I was 11. He asked me to again live with him, but I was used to living with grandma and had everything I needed. But when I was 15, my grandma had a stroke. After that, my aunt thought it was best for my grandma to live with her, so she could take care of her, and that's when I moved in with my father. They already had a baby, and soon after I moved, had another. It was difficult for me because I was so used to living with grandma, but now I had to share a smaller house with a stranger and two babies. My aunt and grandma also had to give me an allowance since my father wouldn't give me any money. I left for college and grandma and aunt paid for it. My father wouldn't. When I was 21, my grandma died, leaving me a considerable amount. A few years later, my father came to me asking to borrow a lot of money. He said he would pay me back every cent. I doubt that. But I knew how he and his wife were with money. They spend their entire paychecks, never saved for emergencies or vacations, so I doubted he could ever pay me. So I refused. After that, he stopped talking to me, and we lost contact. Some time ago, I saw a post from a family member from my father's side, and they were traveling abroad. So I got curious and started to dig, and found that for years my father has been traveling and doing things with his wife and kids. Things he never did with me. Honestly, it hurts because he ignored me most of my life. Never gave me anything, but his other kids get showered with gifts, tips, and whatnot. It's unfair. I started to say to some relatives from his side how my father discarded me, left me to my grandma to raise, and he couldn't afford me, but he can afford his new family, and how he never gave me anything. But with his other kids, they get everything, while he pretends I don't exist. I think someone told him, and he contacted me, saying how could I say those things, that I'm ungrateful for everything. He didn't do anything. He tried to do, but as I can see, he didn't do anything. He ended saying I was the one who chose not to be a part of his life and the life of his family. But I disagree. He's the one that stopped contacting me because of money. People from my father's side of the family said I'm out of step when I complained, but my mom's side said father just never cared for me, and for me to let it go. But am I the beehole for feeling hurt that he excluded me completely? This one's kind of tough, but I think I'm gonna say, you're the beehole, OP. Now, I agree with you on him coming to ask you for a lot of money, especially after seeing their spending habits. I agree with you. I wouldn't lend people money who just, piss it away and burn through their whole paycheck, unless it's, on necessities, bills, that sort of thing. But it sounds like he's not doing that. But where I'm going to say you're the beehole is that you're acting like he never tried. He contacted you, even said in the story he contacted you to go live with him. And you chose to live with your grandmother, which, that's the way it is, but you're acting like he didn't try. He did reach out to you, and it sounds like you turned him down, which, if I was in his shoes, after trying with my child a few times and, trying my child, giving it a try, and they said no, they don't want to be with me, then there's nothing I can do in that situation. And yeah, what do you expect him to do? Not have a family, not raise other people? You know what I mean? And yeah, it sucks that he didn't have money to spend on you, and I get that. And he, wasn't there for you, but he's trying, OP. So yeah, I'm gonna go with you're the beehole. But don't lend him any money though. Yeah, I agree with you on that, but yeah, you're the beehole. And our final one comes from Nothing Thick 4824. Am I the beehole for refusing to share money I'll be given/have access to at 18 with my stepsister and half brother? I, a 17-year-old male, will be coming into a large amount of money when I turn 18. This money that my mom, who died when I was 7, and my maternal grandparents accumulated for me since I was born. I won't say the exact amount, but it's between 500K and a million. The reason it's that much is because my grandparents ran a successful business for many years, and they sold it 18 months ago, and all the money from that sale went to me. They kept none of it. My grandparents have control of it, all of it, currently. Before my mom died, she left them in charge of the account where she was saving. She was married to my dad at the time, but he had wanted to secure my future in case of anything happening. Like dad remarrying or having additional kids, she didn't want to run the risk that once she was gone, her money could be used for someone who wasn't her kid. My dad knew some money had been saved for me by my mom, but was never aware of how much or how little it was. He also had no idea my grandparents continued saving for me. My grandparents told me about the money over a year ago. They wanted me to prepare for my future and to know I would have so many options because of the money available to me. They also mentioned it would never bring my mom back, but it could alleviate the burden of becoming an adult. So here's the deal. My dad did remarry. He has a stepdaughter, 16, and a son, 5, with his current wife. They are not wealthy, and my dad's wife had prepared her daughter to try to work hard for scholarships and financial aid to get into college, because she wants to study to become a lawyer. I think. My dad had similar conversations with me and had sat me down a few times since I learned of the money's existence to figure out what our plans would be. Eventually I told him it wasn't going to be a big concern, and I told him about the money. He was like, "What the F?" Then he told his wife, and then they apparently went what the F together and told me I could be gracious and split the money when I get it between the three of us and give the other two a chance to have a decent helping hand with college. I told them I would not be sharing it because it was created by my family, not theirs. Dad's wife argued, of course she did. Don't you love that? Ooh, she thinks she has the authority to do that. That it would be incredibly selfish to take such a large amount of money and blow it all on myself. Who said you were going to blow it? When I have two siblings who could also benefit from it in major ways. My dad told me even giving some of it to them, not a full split, but some money. Money I have left at the end would be amazing. It would help my family out a lot. I told them I wasn't going to. They are so not happy with me. They told me that being selfish with this was not a good way to be. My dad is also pissed that he continued saving for me and dividing things equally between the three of us when I have so much and I'll have access to it in a few months. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. No, you are not the beehole. Your father and his wife are definitely the beeholes. And I like who he's keeping count. He is your father. That is his job to, to be fair to you and raise you guys the best way he can. That is not his money. He did not save that money. That is from your mother and your grandparents. He didn't do shite for it, all right? And I love how like, oh, but the other one's futures. What about your future? Your mother and your grandparents made that very clear that was for your future, for you to have a good start. I don't know, if I were you in your shoes, I'd be infuriated that the wife is over here trying to lecture you and steal money from you, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to, they think you're going to blow it. Do they really think you're going to blow it? Because it sounds like you've got a good head on your shoulders telling these jackals no. To me, it sounds like you're going to use it for what it's intended for, to give you a good future. It sounds like they just want money to piss away. OP, it sounds like you're at the point where you can, just not live with them anymore. I think you make it sound like it's almost, I don't know when you're gonna get the money. I assume 18, right? So you have the money to leave. If I were you, I'd get myself a nice little place somewhere that's not expensive. I mean, good luck with that if you're in America. It's a goddamn hellhole right now. And just live my life. I don't know what the interest on that amount will be, but you might be able to pull it off and just live off the interest. And I know you said you want to go to college. Maybe go to a trade school. It's less money, and you'll be making a lot more money a lot quicker. And so you'll have that million. You'll be able to make more money, and you'll never have to see him again. Because if I were you, if I was in your shoes, no contact. Because it sounds like your dad and his wife are idiots. So OP, you're not the beehole. Do not give them any money. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.